Oh man, Transformers 1, a flop. This is my film rant and something a little special. We have here Tyrone Magnus. Go over to his channel, go ahead and check him out. But let's go ahead and just jump in real quick. First of all, before I say anything, thank you guys for clicking on this video. We are going to be taking, I guess, or giving my reaction to Tyrone's reaction to the news that the Transformers 1 film is a flop, considered a flop, because it didn't hit the numbers that they were expecting, projecting, and now I guess you could say some of them are worried. Fans are scratching their head wondering, well, why is this? Why is this a thing? Now, I admit, I watched this a little earlier and I wasn't intending to do a reaction to it, but after watching it or while I was watching it, I was like, man, there's so many things that I would like to say publicly about this, like things that I would want to respond to in his post, but I just can't get it all out. So here we are. We're going to watch this together, and I may pause throughout the video to kind of give my 2 cents, but I kind of want to hear what you all have to say about this as well. So go ahead, leave comments down below. And again, head on over to Tyrone Magnus's channel, like and subscribe. He's one of my favorites. He's actually one of the critics that I find to be balanced enough to actually take seriously. There's some other critics out there who are, for lack of better words, not that good. They're so beside themselves, you know, that they think that their viewpoint is high and mighty, but yet not influencing, especially when you have the woke Hollywood attacking them. But anyways, that's a topic, a different discussion for another day. But let's go ahead and let's check this out. And I'll again give my 2 cents along the way. He's very entertaining. He would be a great voice actor too. Like, I'm waiting for it to happen.
Before time began.
You hear that in his
All
voice?
right,
He
so
just has it.
I'm laughing, but actually this isn't funny. I actually was very surprised.
Okay, so with him saying that this isn't funny, he doesn't find this funny. And obviously he doesn't find it funny because he's a fan. You know, he's a fan of the actual franchise of Transformers. Tyrone and I are born within like 10 months of each other. We don't know each other, but you know, during that era of growing up watching He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, like that to me was like the golden age of cartoons for us. So I understand where he's coming from when he's like, man, like I hate to see that this is becoming a flop or projected as a flop. Tyrone, I get you. I get you.
About this. I heard about this late last night. I was laying in bed and I was like, I'm not getting out of bed to make a video about this. However, I will get up in the morning and make a video about this. And I was thinking to myself, how did this flop? This was an excellent movie, even with the woke sprinkled in it.
Okay, now, with him saying that, talking about that this was an excellent movie, even with the woke sprinkled in it, there has been other movies that had a little bit of woke sprinkled in it, and not him specifically, but there were other people, other critics out there that were praising the downfall of such films. And then I would go and I would see some of these films and I'll be like, it's not the crux of the movie. It's just that, you know, these two people like each other, or this person is showing a little slice of their life. And yes, there are going to be times where there's a message and that it's going to be preachy, because that is part of the point. As long as the whole film is not a big sermon, Mount on the Hill type of approach, we should be okay. We should be okay, right? But he said that this was an excellent movie. He went out to see it as a fan, and he's like scratching his head, wondering why. How did this become a flop?
This was an excellent movie. I don't get it. And I think it's winning with fans and with critics. So where's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
And I was really thinking about it. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, they
Mm-hmm.
put out several trailers, they put out clips,
Mm-hmm.
they put out
Mm-hmm.
featurettes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
They did.
like,
They did all the things.
oh, that first trailer put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Now look, he just admitted, without even knowing, that there's a problem happening when it comes to critics. Critics, self-proclaimed critics, and critics who have been deemed um, critics by their audience because they have a lot of influence and they may not know how to properly critique a film, know what to look for, know what to exclude, know how to properly gauge and know how to put out a proper score. But because of their popularity, they have influence. And it doesn't matter how well, educated you are. If you went to film critic school, if you don't have the audience, you have nothing. You have absolutely your knowledge, your wealth of knowledge means absolutely nothing compared to a person who doesn't have the skill, the talent, the setup, the credentials, but they have an audience. That's a lot of power. That is a heck of a lot of power, which is why I can see why Disney would go after certain YouTubers, because when they open up their mouths and they give an opinion based off of just a trailer, it automatically will influence, I don't know what percentage, but let's just throw a number out there. 75% of the viewers that are watching and tune into that channel are like, if my favorite YouTuber doesn't like it, chances are I'm not going to like it. So I'm not even going to give it a chance, and they fail to realize that there is no one size fits all and that entertainment is very, very, very subjective, you know? And even for, you're going to find out here that even for the individual, having a knee jerk reaction can really, really put your foot in your mouth. And you're like, dang, like I, I thought it was going to be something, but it wasn't. And maybe I should have kept my mouth shut before I gave my 2 cents. But let's continue on.
Mine was one of them. I
See?
remembers. And
Yep.
I was like, was that it?
And I would have to add to that, yes. The answer is yes. That was it. That's part of the problem with being a YouTuber with that much power, with that much influence, and not having a proper balance when critiquing a film. Like, for example, for like this one, Transformers 1, because of the way that it looked and it came across as being a children's film, you have adults out there who think that everything should be made for them. And then they look at this and they say, I don't like the way the animation was. Like it looks too kiddish for me. I don't like it. And then they forget that they are an adult and they're not giving this film a proper critique from the childlike mind, if they happen to have one, that perspective, because that's very, very, very important. You're not going to have 5-year-olds out there reviewing films like this. You're not going to have kids out there that are able to have access um, to video equipment of this caliber to be able to say like, yeah, I'm looking forward to this film coming out, and maybe it should be like maybe there needs to be more children out there that can give their opinion on this film, either by way of their own platform or being pulled in, like a person like Tyrone. Tyrone, Nerdrotic, all these other people who are adults watching these films that have a strong, I guess you could say, strong pull towards the child audience, to pull a child in and to say, hey, I'm sitting down with this kid, so and so, blah blah blah. What did you think about this film? And then let that child speak to the other adults out there that are going to take their children to go see this film. you know but that also brings up another problem and point we're going to find out here in just a moment.
Was that it? Was it
Yes.
that, or was it that it was marketed as a kiddie Transformers movie.
Now, I don't know about that. I don't know if this was marketed as a kiddie Transformers film. Maybe by the way it looked, because I know for myself when I first saw it, I did. I thought to myself man, this I'm not interested. I'm not gonna say that this is not for me. I'm just like I'm not interested because of the way that it looks. It looks like, you remember the Transformers show. I want to say maybe it was like in the early 2000s. And it had bad animation, but it was aimed towards kids, so the kids didn't mind. They still tuned in. They loved it anyway. That's how I kind of felt about seeing this trailer. And even after hearing the praises, I still am just like, I don't know if I can just sit and watch this unfold. Like I don't know. This isn't for me, but for kids, this would be a hit, and I would recommend every child to go out there and to check this film out. Tell your parents to take you. I'm sure you would not be disappointed, right? So continuing on, moving on.
Because even though it was more kiddie in a way, there were some serious themes in there. Some serious
Yeah.
stuff happened, you know? So here's my idea. I am willing to place my card of authenticity.
At that point, when I was watching the video, I thought he was going to say, I am willing to take responsibility and place the blame on me for influencing 1.9 million subscribers and viewers out there, telling them, giving my reaction, and just like dogpiling on this, saying this is going to be horrible or whatever it is that he was saying in his video. I would have to go back and check it out. I doubt if I would do that. But I mean, for him to admit that, that's like an admission to guilt, in my opinion. And again, he's still one of my favorite YouTube critics because to me, he's kind of like right down the middle, we tend to have the same type of taste, different reactions, but same type of taste. We enjoy practically the same types of films, and I do rely on him saying, you know what, this is good, this is bad, or that way I don't have to waste my time, you know. But yeah, let's continue on. Let's move on.
Being a Transformers fan on this, I bet you that if the movie had been a full scale movie of what that first 5 minutes of Bumblebee looked like, I bet you this would have been a banger hit. Bet you.
And I'm also going to add on there too. One thing that I didn't see personally was there was no toys attached to this film at all. At all. Growing up in the 80s, to my recollection, when He-Man came out, if I'm not mistaken, because of the toy. The toy came out, and then because of the success of the toy, that's when they formulated the story around He-Man uh, and the Masters of the Universe. And it went on to be a huge success, cartoon wise, but also toy line wise. And that's what's needed here. It's like, Transformers toys, that was huge back in the day. Huge back in the day. Like back in the day, they had the die cast metal, Transformers, I can almost hear it just like talking about it. I can hear the clapping and the flapping of the metal pieces of Optimus Prime and Megatron, you name them, they were all made out of metal. And I just remember there was also a gun. Oof, man, we had so many toy guns back then. We couldn't do that today. I don't think we can get away with that today. But yes, back then we had toys associated with it. And then today we have, Happy Meals, whatever the kids' meal is for Burger King. Like there are many food franchises out there that have food aimed towards kids, and for some reason, to my knowledge, they did not have any type of association with any of those franchises, and it was missed opportunity. I don't know if they went, to have talks with them, and maybe the deal didn't happen. But I would rather take that instead of them not have done anything at all. And they're just like, oh man, we thought that this was just going to be an adult, a film geared towards, young people and adults. But no, this has a definite kid look, and there had been no really push or pump for these toys. I mean, even when it comes to Christmas coming up, Christmas is right around the corner. If anything, this movie should have been released around Christmas and should have had the toys gearing up during the month of, I would say, like by like the beginning of November. Start rolling out the toys, saying, hurry up, get your Legos, get your action figures, go to McDonald's, get the Happy Meal toy, get the collectibles. Like, all that hype built around this film would have made it a success, because the children are the ones, I believe, that were neglected.
I think that Paramount should take take that leap of faith, make a movie that big with that. You were able to do it with this. It may take more time because they're more detailed and all that. Put your foot in it.
Yeah.
I bet you it'll be a hit. You write that correctly. Zero woke with that CGI. See, I can't even talk. That CGI animation. Woo! Trust me. Movies companies that have been listening to me past few years, trust me, they all had hits anyway. So,
I love his confidence. For him to say that, that's how I feel. I feel the same way too. I think that there are cases in which there are YouTubers and fans alike that should be brought in which they do screenings and stuff and testing and everything like that. But it's like, don't test after the fact that you've made the film. It's like, test leading up to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when it comes down to the story or come down to the marketing, it's like, asking people like Tyrone, like, hey, what do you think will help make this film a huge success? Or just like, asking me, when should this film be released? Now, I know that during that window, people are fighting for people's attention for the holidays and stuff like that. I get it. That's cool. If you don't release this movie on Christmas because it's just too jam-packed, release it on Black Friday. There. Release it on Black Friday or like that weekend, because it's a holiday weekend. And once kids see the film, then it's building up enough hype for you to even make money off of the toys, off of the merchandise and the licensing and everything else like that. I like this. It is disappointing to hear that this movie is projected to become a flop. Dang it, man, that's crazy.
I think that's what it was. I think it was. This is the reason I think it flopped. Two things. The first trailer was not received well. I think that it divided the fans.
Yeah.
It was divisive.
Yeah.
It was marketed as more kiddie. I think it's those two things.
Yeah, it was.
Why this didn't succeed.
But see, here's the thing though. Even with this being marketed as kiddie, there are so many kids out there, young kids with young parents that are between the ages of 30 and 35. If they happen to have children younger than that, within age, that makes it even better, that will sit down and enjoy this movie. But I don't know, because I don't watch kid channels on YouTube and this, that, and the third. But was it advertised to them? I don't know. Was it marketed to them while they're sitting down and watching, kids and other people or grown people play video games like Minecraft and Fortnite and stuff like that? Was this film being pushed and promoted on those channels and on those? Because if not, then it's like, yeah, I can see why It failed because it wasn't marketed correctly. That they just left money, either they left money on the table or they put that money into the wrong silos for marketing.
Because I can't think of anything else. The voice acting was great. The animation was great. The story was great. Like, I don't understand.
Tyrone, again, you may not even watch this video, you may not even get it. Understand, when you have these movies that are aimed towards kids or adults and they don't have any type of toys attached to them or collectibles, when that stuff is not pushed simultaneously, that is hurting them, absolutely hurting them.
Why it would flop. So, Transformers 1 box office could mark Chris Hemsworth's second flop in 2024. What was his first?
Mm.
I am Magnus Prime, and Transformers 1 has garnered an impressive 89% fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes. It also has a score of 62 out of 100 after 26 reviews on Metacritic. Despite the critical success, Transformers 1 could become a box office disappointment if Megatron. Sorry. Don't get sidetracked, Prime. Okay. If the current trend holds, it'll be the second one for Chris Hemsworth in 2024 after Furiosa. I still have to watch that. Everybody was saying, it was like, look.
Now I admit as well, I have to watch that too. And it was considered a flop because I didn't watch it. Tyrone, you didn't watch it. He didn't watch it. So many other people out there didn't watch it. And I don't know if he had an opinion about it. I just did a trailer reaction to it, but I can't talk about the failed success of a particular franchise if I contribute it to its failing because I didn't participate in watching said film. You know, um, if anything, I can say like, man, like, you know, it didn't do well. And it just wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't have an interest in it. I can respect that. I can respect that. But it pains even to think about films that you just kind of catch up on later, you know, like for example, Dungeons and Dragons, you know. I saw so many people, um, channels like Nerdrotic, Clownfish TV, um, and the likes. You know, there's a couple of others that are out there that are just like, I watch them because I like to hear hear other people's opinions and hear the other side. But I still scratch my head like you guys are being overly critical overlord, critical drinker. There are so many times where they're wrong, you know, and Dungeons and Dragons were one of them. And I think that some of them came back and admitted that and said, like, dang, like, you know what? That was actually a good movie. I just thought it was going to be, you know, bad because, and then they give this laundry list of excuses. But it's like, I don't ever remember them saying, I'm sorry, my bad. I'll try not to make that happen, you know, that same mistake again. I'm trying to make that happen. Um, like that, like, you know, for them to just saying like, dang, I was shocked. Like I was wrong about that. Like that film, but the damage was done though, you know, because these people have tens upon thousands of subscribers that watch them, that watch their videos, and they're huge fans. Like they just kind of wait and just hang on every word that comes out of their mouth. And you can tell because you can just read the comments, like read the comments down below, and you can see all the people that are just on the bandwagon, you know, and they just dogpile on these movies. And it's so sad that, you know, Dungeons and Dragons got done that well, but done that way. But I believe they're also going to be having a sequel, which I'm happy about. I'm happy about that. So yeah, moving on.
Everybody's tired of the girl boss. Women are tired of the girl boss. It's played out. It's not working.
Okay, so question: what is a girl boss? Can anybody please explain that to me down in the comments below? Please let me know what a girl boss is. Because if not a girl boss, then what is it? A guy boss? And are we tired of guy bosses? You know, or are we just tired of boss period? Like bosses, like what does that mean to be like I'm a girl boss? Does it mean like you know what you're on top of your stuff? You don't let nobody run over you. Well, I mean, hey, if that is a type of character, then cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and if it's not for you, then fine, it's not for you. But let's not pretend that there aren't girl bosses out in the world. You know, and then I feel like the people that are sensitive towards that are people who I don't know. It's like I feel like they feel threatened. They feel threatened, and of course, it's the whole way of how you deliver it. Because if it's delivered horribly, then yes, you will get a severe eye roll. Like, oh my god, here we go again. But like the perfect girl boss to me that I've seen was Atomic Blonde. Go watch that film. That to me is a girl boss or a version of a girl boss because she gets her butt handed to her, but she still overcame, because she had pushed through, she persevered instead of, coming out all the way on top every single time. She had to fight for that position. A guy boss would be like a John Wick, so like those two, John Wick, Atomic Blonde, they're both two peas in a pod. Those are the type of bosses that I like to see on screen. All right, let's keep going.
And then you put out Furiosa. That's what everyone thinks it's going to be. No one goes to see it. However, it was a sleeper hit type of thing with people where it was like, yo, it wasn't even what you thought it was.
And here's the other thing too. These people that it becomes a sleeper of a hit because again, the damage is done. You got people out there who are overly critical, especially over the trailer. And I know a trailer's supposed to, hook you in, bring you in, but it's like it's okay to see a woman win, folks. Like it's all right. It's all right. Like it's okay to see an alphabet crew relationship on screen. It's okay. It's like it's not the end of the world, especially when like it's part of the story or it just so happens to be type of a situation or like for example, if you're able to take those two characters and flip or switch one of them out for a heterosexual, does the story still work? If the story still works and you didn't change nothing but the sex of the people, then I would almost say that the people who are criticizing these quote unquote woke films, they have internal issues. They just don't like to see homosexual relationships. They don't like it. They don't like it. The moment you say, "Oh yeah, this movie is about two men. One is trying to save the other, and he's trying to stay the love of his life." Then people got a serious problem. They're like, "Well, why do we got to have this one?" It's like, well, why not? You know. Now I'm not sitting here trying to like advocate for a particular lifestyle or anything like that. I could care less. But one thing I can say is keep the same energy and keep it real. Like make it make sense. Don't hide behind your keyboards. Don't hide behind, this whole badge of like, oh, it's just woke, it's woke. No, I think the problem and issue is with some of these critics is that they themselves just don't like the lifestyle and they don't know how to express themselves when it comes to seeing it on screen. They just don't. But let's keep going.
See, that's what happens when you condition people.
Yes,
When you
conditioning.
condition people to garbage, okay?
Yep.
That's all the elements of wokeifying stuff. When you do that, you make them think that when they see certain things that
Okay, so here's the thing. It's not that there is some of it could be conditioning, but other than that, to be honest, I would say that some of it is just like they're just saying that we exist. That's it. That this is a slice of life within society. And I can say that because that's how black people feel. But when black people say, I want to see myself on screen, they're basically saying it's like that, hey, we exist as well. We're not a monolith. we're not all basketball players, rappers, and we don't all have single parent households. Like, just like um, you can have a regular idea for a relationship. It just so happens to be black people in it. It's okay. Yeah, there can be a black Harry Potter. Like, it doesn't have to say black Harry Potter, but you get what I'm saying. But it's not that we are trying to condition people. It's just that we want to be seen. We want to be heard. It's simple as that. And it's not, oh, we're trying to force it down your throat because, like, truth be told, yeah, like, homosexuality is it, it's in society. It's part of society. So it would be kind of weird if you were to watch a whole series of franchise and you never saw like one homosexual relationship, one lesbian relationship at all. It would be kind of weird, and I would understand why that community would be like, man, where are we at, right?
That's what it's going to be. See what you've done?
I feel you, bro.
Transformers 1 was the most highly anticipated animated features of the year. However, following its debut on September 20th, it failed to claim the #1 spot in its domestic opening weekend. As per deadline, it brought in I'm having too much fun with this. It brought in $25 million domestically and finished behind Beetlejuice. It finished behind Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice beat this.
Yes, Beetlejuice beat that. Beetlejuice is iconic, man. Like iconic in a way that is non-comparable to Transformers. Like, we've gotten a lot of Transformers. I said that like Trump. We have gotten a lot of Transformers. But the word's not coming to mind right now. But we got a lot of content. Got a lot of Transformers content for decades, ever since it's released as toys, as cartoons, films, you name it. We've gotten a lot of it. So we didn't get a lot of Beetlejuice. We got the cartoon. The cartoon stopped in the 90s, and it's been 30 years silent. So it's iconic. So when you come back and you've waited for a while, people are thirsty for it. So yes, they're going to be on top of it. Beetlejuice.
It's been out a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Man. Wow. Transformers 1 was one of the 3 movies to come out in the US and Canada in September 20th to 22nd weekend, alongside The Substance and Never Let Go, and was projected to make over $30 million at the box office, including during that period, but it underperformed, grossing $9.56 million. Wow. Man. Well, Transformers 1, it's like, why could it be Hemsworth's second flop? This is on YouTube Entertainment, not YouTube, Yahoo Entertainment, by the way. Transformers 1 had a production budget of around $75 million. Okay, well, that's low for movies today.
I mean, yeah, it's low, but I think that's very reasonable. That's generous. I mean, for animation. And I hope that the animators got paid just as much as the voice actors. Please. Just as much, because they did all the acting. They were just voice, but these people did sound design. They've done all of the animation, everything that you see. These people, I'm hoping, are treated like celebrities, because to be honest, I mean, you could get any of these. I mean, Chris Hemsworth, like you can get somebody else, to voice that. And yeah, for some people, they're like, oh man, like it's all about the star power. Is it really though? I don't know. I mean, like, if it's going to help you to save, let's just say about maybe $20 million to be able to find some other voice actors, then do that. Let's let's be smart about this. Like, let's be smarter about spending our money and not being delusional about star power.
It's unclear exactly how much Paramount spent on its marketing, but the general assumption for most films, marketing budget is almost as much as a production budget. So,
Which is
assuming that the
nuts.
total money that Paramount likely invested on Transformers One to be around 150 million, and keeping in
Mm.
mind a roughly 40 to 60% cut from the theater chains, Transformers
Mm.
One would likely need to make between 250 to 300 million globally. Well, I guess we're just going to
Mm.
have to see if it does.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Don't know what else to say. Post comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. If you enjoyed my thoughts on this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers.
And there you have it, folks. There you have it. Transformers 1 is considered, possibly considered a flop. We've heard from Tyrone Magnus, who is a fan of the franchise and many other films out there. Go ahead, head on over, give him a follow. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. He is very, very balanced. He's very, very balanced, in my opinion. But I want to hear from you all. What do you all think? You guys think that this is going to be a continued flop, or will it be a success? Will it be a sleeper of a success? Leave a comment down below if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. Also, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I do try to drop as frequent as possible. Remember to always put forth your best, and like we always say, peace in, y'all, and confusion out.